B and B spoilers. Bill pitches Dylan for Spencer's own YA fashion line. In the glamorous and ruthless world of the bold and the beautiful asterisk, fashion is never just about clothes. It is about power, legacy, money, and sometimes the chance to reinvent an entire family name. Now, the latest B and B spoilers could be setting the stage for a surprising new business venture involving Bill Spencer and Dylan. Could Bill be ready to pitch the idea of a Spencer-branded young adult fashion line, and see Dylan as the perfect person to front it? If so, this storyline could give Dylan a completely different role, while also allowing Bill to expand the Spencer empire beyond its traditional publishing roots. Bill Spencer sees another business opportunity. Bill has never been the kind of man to look at an opportunity and simply walk away. Whether he is dealing with romance, family conflict, or business competition, Bill tends to think several moves ahead. A YA fashion line could therefore make perfect sense for him. The young adult market is enormous, and a Spencer fashion label aimed at younger consumers could give Bill a chance to build a new branch of the family empire. Instead of focusing solely on newspapers, publishing, or traditional corporate ventures, Bill could see fashion as the next big thing. But Bill would need someone who understands the younger generation. That is where Dylan could come in. Rather than simply making Dylan an employee, Bill might recognize that Dylan has something valuable, a fresh perspective. Dylan could understand what younger customers actually want instead of relying on executives who are disconnected from the target audience. And Bill may believe that authenticity is exactly what the Spencer brand needs. Why Dylan? At first glance, Dylan might seem like an unusual choice for a major fashion project. After all, the Spencer name has never been synonymous with Forrester Creations. The Forresters have dominated Lowe's Angels fashion for years, while the Spencers have built their reputation in other industries. But that could actually be the point. Bill may want Dylan to help create something that doesn't feel like another imitation of Forrester fashion. A YA line would have to be different. It would need to feel youthful, energetic, affordable, and connected to a generation that doesn't necessarily care about traditional luxury. Dylan could become the bridge between Bill's business instincts and the tastes of younger consumers. Bill might even tell Dylan that he doesn't want another expensive designer collection. He wants something that young people will actually wear. That could be a tempting challenge. Spencer versus Forrester. Naturally, such a move would create plenty of tension. If Bill launches a fashion line under the Spencer name, the Forresters are unlikely to ignore it. Even if Bill insists that his company isn't trying to compete directly with Forrester Creations, everyone in Lowe's Angels would know what was happening. And if Dylan's line became successful, it could become a serious headache for the Forrester family. Imagine the reactions if Spencer Fashion suddenly became the hottest young adult brand in town. Rivalries could explode overnight. Forrester executives might dismiss the project initially, believing that Bill doesn't understand fashion. But if sales begin climbing, that confidence could quickly disappear. Bill would probably enjoy every second of it. He has always been attracted to competition, and taking on the Forresters in their own territory could be irresistible. Dylan could finally get a chance to shine. One of the most interesting aspects of this possible storyline is what it could mean for Dylan. Instead of constantly being caught in someone else's drama, Dylan could receive a storyline built around ambition and creativity. A Spencer YA fashion line would give Dylan a professional identity. Dylan wouldn't simply be someone's romantic interest, family connection, or supporting player. Dylan would have to make decisions, take risks, deal with criticism, and prove that the idea could succeed. That could create plenty of opportunities for character development. Bill could initially see Dylan as an inexperienced newcomer. Dylan, meanwhile, might become increasingly frustrated by Bill's aggressive business tactics. The two could clash over everything from pricing to marketing. Bill might want the biggest possible profit margins. Dylan might argue that the clothes need to remain affordable. Bill might want the Spencer name displayed everywhere. Dylan might insist that younger buyers want something subtler. Those disagreements could make their partnership much more entertaining. But is Bill really doing this for Dylan? There could also be another motive. Bill rarely makes a major move without considering how it benefits his family. Perhaps he isn't simply trying to build another profitable business. Maybe he believes Dylan needs direction. If Bill sees potential in Dylan, he could decide that the fashion project is a way to push Dylan toward independence. That could become a surprisingly emotional storyline. Bill might tell Dylan that talent means nothing without confidence. He could encourage Dylan to stop waiting for an opportunity and start creating one. Of course, Bill's methods aren't always gentle. His version of mentorship could involve pressure, manipulation, and impossible expectations. Dylan might eventually wonder whether Bill is truly helping or simply creating another Spencer business machine. Trouble behind the scenes. No B&B business storyline would be complete without trouble. A YA fashion line could quickly become a battlefield. Someone could leak designs before the launch. A competitor could attempt to steal the concept. A model could create controversy. A marketing campaign could backfire. And then there is the possibility of sabotage. If the project begins threatening another powerful family, someone could decide that stopping Dylan is easier than competing with him. That would put Dylan in a dangerous position. Bill would undoubtedly respond aggressively, which could escalate the conflict even further. Suddenly, what started as a youthful fashion experiment could become another Spencer versus everyone battle. Could this put Dylan against Hope? Another fascinating possibility would involve Hope. If Dylan's fashion project overlaps with the younger generation at Forrester Creations, Hope could become involved. Perhaps Hope sees the potential in Dylan's designs and wants to collaborate. Or maybe she believes Spencer is trying to steal Forrester's customer base. Either way, the situation could become complicated quickly. Hope has her own history of difficult relationships and professional conflicts, so partnering with Dylan could create unexpected chemistry or rivalry. Bill might even encourage the connection if he believes Hope's Forrester background could help the Spencer project. That would be a bold move. And it would almost certainly make someone at Forrester furious. A new Spencer dynasty. The biggest question is whether Bill's plan could become something much larger. Maybe the YA collection would only be the beginning. If Dylan succeeds, Bill could expand into accessories, fragrances, shoes, social media campaigns, and eventually a full Spencer lifestyle brand. The Spencer name could suddenly become a major force in fashion. That would dramatically change the balance of power in Los Angeles. Forrester Creations would have another major competitor, and Bill would have another weapon in his ongoing business battles. For Dylan, meanwhile, success could mean becoming the face of a completely new Spencer generation. What B&B spoilers could mean. Of course, this remains speculation unless, and until the show confirms that Bill is actually planning a YA fashion line for Dylan. But as a soap storyline, the idea has plenty of potential. Bill gets a new business challenge. Dylan gets a chance to grow. The Spencer family gains another potential empire, and the Forresters get a new competitor. That's a recipe for drama. The most interesting twist could come if Dylan eventually realizes that Bill's vision isn't the same as his own. What happens if Dylan wants to build a brand based on creativity and individuality, while Bill wants to turn it into a billion-dollar Spencer empire? Their partnership could become a battle of wills.